I don't want it to feel like we got, you know, a contemporary aged Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
And we should also just take the pain if that can't be done. If it's never gonna feel realistic, because it can't bump the movie. It can't be like a giggle. It's gotta be like a great moment.
In this film, we bring to life a digital version of Arnold Schwarzenegger as he was in Terminator 1 and have him fight Christian Bale.
It was a great help to have a body double in for our T-800. You know, that way you have all of the eye lines and you have them really interacting with something as they're fighting.
Okay, a couple of shadowy shots. We want to get the hint that it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then we start filming it, and she's like, okay, he starts going in for close-ups on the guy that's playing the body of the T-800 and says, you know, Ben, I really want to challenge you with this. You know, we're going to be right in the face. You guys are going to have to bring your best game for this.
So I challenged ILM, Ben Snow in particular, what can you do to create an early 80s Arnold Schwarzenegger photorealistically appearing in our film in 2009?
Like, okay, this isn't what we signed on for, but it's fantastically exciting, so yeah, okay. A bodybuilder acted the role, and then we had to replace various parts of him with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So for our digital Arnold, we started with a live cast that Stan Winston and his group did during Terminator 1. It was a really good foundation to start off on because we didn't have anything physically that was usable to recreate Arnold from that era.
We had to use new skin technologies to make his skin look real. We developed hair materials and shaders to make his hair look real.
You know, lots and lots of hand tweaking. Every little angle, you notice something different. It's, you know, his upper lip is too big, it's too small, why is his eye so squinty? And it's just hundreds of iterations of sort of noodling to get the likeness from every angle.
At one point we had a conference call with Stan Winston Studios. One of the first things they said was, well, of course, with all the makeup, you know, they'd cover him in KY jelly. That's why he looks so shiny. Then the other thing they'd say was, one of the major things we were missing was that as soon as he went into character, he would clench his jaw, which made him look very different. It was things like that where it was invaluable to do the archaeology.
It's even hard for me to tell where they blended it, but they're blending in our CG chest with his upper torso.
The team at ILM has really pulled together to produce this digital Arnie. It wasn't a clear-cut process. It's one that has involved all the different departments. And at the end of it, I think we've produced something amazing.
We're all here because of the great thing Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jim Cameron put together in those pictures. It just felt like the proper thing to do, to tip the cap, respect the fan base, and give back a little bit.
Here we are in the heart of it all. This is the Terminator Factory. We've never seen this before in any of the Terminator movies. Here we actually get to come to their home, see where they're being built. Now, these heads of the Terminators, because there is a stunt that's involved, not only do they have to look good, but they also have to be squashy as well, so that as the people come down, they don't hurt themselves. This thing is on a track system that goes backwards and forwards to allow us to work it in our shot. So not only are they fighting a Terminator, running from a Terminator, but these things are moving throughout the shot and moving in their way. Special effects came in and rigged it from the top. Obviously, the whole thing is manufactured so it can actually move, but they're responsible for making it move within the shot. So they rigged it all with a series of cables and wires and pulled it, and also had a whole series of jets of plumes of smoke and nitrogen coming down there as well, just to make it come to life.
On Terminator Salvation, we decided to do something a little bit different. We engaged the stunt team and said, okay guys, what is the most kick-ass fight you guys can come up with? But rather than like a normal fight, you're superhuman now. You can throw each other through walls and through pipes, and you're going to fall from a great height and be covered with molten metal and still keep coming. You've got these powers, but we want it to be a real fight. We want to feel the punches connect.
You're working with somebody that's supposed to be a Terminator, so obviously it's not going to be as fluid as what people are going to see in an actual wrestling match, anything like that. So it has to be a little bit blocky and robotic, but we're trying to get the other guys to be a little bit more fluid. If you remember the previous Terminators, it was very grab, shake, slam into a wall. So we're keeping that kind of element for the actual Terminators, but a very street, very aware of your surroundings style of fighting for the human. This is my third film with Christian. I doubled Christian on both Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, and working with him on this, I know how he performs, how he moves, what works for him, what doesn't, so that I can put things quicker and, if need be, change things on the day. It's annoying, really, because it took me 20 years to master some stuff, and then I'll show him twice and he'll just do it.
We had the luxury of designing everything within my art department. We have an amazing group of people in Stan Winston who then took those designs and turned them into the reality of the 3D guys you see running around.
I don't believe in leaning on CG. I love computer-generated enhancement, but I want to build everything practically. The whole point of this film was to feel it.
There was a team of about 60 people working back at Stan Winston's studio on all the different variety of these things.
What I've got here is fully working Terminator skull.
These are T1s. Now that we've gotten some paint on them, you can see that we've got the aging and weathering coming about on them.
Basically what we're doing is we're swapping back and forth between fogged contact lenses and clear contact lenses just to see which reads better.
This is the foam team, and they're running foam rubber. These chemicals, there are many parts that get mixed together in a special formula, and they're whipped up. It's almost like a crazy bakery. McG has always been a fan of trying to get as much on screen that's real and live as possible. You know, it helps your actors get more involved, and it gives great on-set sensibility. You know, when this comes walking in the frame and it's 7'3", you can sure have quite a reaction to that. I think it's been fun for us because, you know, we get the opportunity to build all this cool stuff. We're doing a little test fitting right now with his underskull. That's the underbase, and then we're going to end up with the red LED lights in there, and then we get the skin on here. Chin in. So this is actually first test fitting here.
Feels great, it's perfect.
It's going to be a fun character, this one. Audiences are so sophisticated that I think whatever you can do to make their film-going experience more exciting and fool them, you know? Give them that magic trick that they're coming to see and make it really believable. I think that's what we've got to keep pushing to do. With the Stan Winston guys, you know, just seeing the dedication that people like this have, you know, the painstaking detail that they go to, you know, talents that they have, the patience that they have, is incredible. And I love it when you see people who are just obsessed with what they do and they want to, you know, perfect what a T600 really would look like, you know, turning its head and attacking somebody. They take it very, very seriously, and I think that's wonderful.
It's fun those days when you have practical effects and you go talk to the effects guys and you say, I want it bigger than Apocalypse Now. I want to feel the heat coming off, and I want to know that we made our mark, and that concussion is felt throughout the western United States.
We figure out where the napalm drop will be, we figure out how big it'll be, then we'll make a protective fire ring around it. So if something does go wrong, it burns to the end of the fire break and stops. And then the effects guys come in and design the shot, and they figure out how many gallons of gas they need, where they're gonna blow it up. We consult with the fire department, show them what we have in mind, get the proper backups with water trucks, fire trucks, whatever you need, and then just set it off and film it.
Mike Menardis and McG have a standard repartee. Mike says, how big do you want it? And McG says, bigger. Mike is the chairman of Big around here, and he has blown up a lot of stuff, and we've gone through an incredible amount of pyrotechnics.
To make up the napalm run, we have 8-inch PVC pipe in 20-foot sections, and we have 22 of them. They hold 50 gallons of fuel each, and then we have trap mortars, which is a big, thick V-pan that's full of sawdust and diesel fuel and gasoline. We have those lean towards the direction that we want the napalm run. And then we have DSC sparks that go off to simulate the phosphorus.
It's a 300-foot run of gasoline, 1,500 gallons of gasoline.
300-foot high flame.
We started at one end and detonated the charges and the containers of gas, chasing up to the point where he is.
We'll just stop like right here, because the orange tubing that's coming out of the ground is the non-electric tubing. On the end of that's the detonators.
Shrapnel from the pipe flies 200 feet in every direction. The radiant heat from the fireball is dangerous under 300 feet. So we clear everybody, well back.
We got 2 helicopters in the air, and then all our cameras are off to that side over there.
I do remember signing a bill for about 30,000 gallons of diesel fuel, which he blew up in one day. I was rather impressed with that.
Go for it. Be bigger.
This is big. McGee really wanted real pyro events and explosions and action sort of at one-to-one scale, in our sets, and not do them as computer generated or as miniatures. So, all this stuff plays really big.
I want that war reality because you get it in the whites of the actor's eyes. So when you do things practically, I think it results in a lot more grit.